Hello, thank you so much for joining this video tutorial. This is lesson 3, UFT data-driven testing for beginners. In this lesson, we will design the data-driven testing framework. This lesson is divided into two parts. Part 1, we will understand the application. Part 2, we'll design the data-driven testing framework. So let's do the first one. First part, application under test overview. Example of business processes in the application. Some of them are book a flight. That means you can book a flight. You can rent a car, and you can book a hotel. Last two are not implemented yet. So let us just analyze book a flight process to see how a new user can book a flight. We'll go step by step. So these are the user actions and the flow of user actions for a new user. So new user first open the application, complete the registration, find a flight, select a flight, book a flight, and then exit the application. Open application. In order to open application, we just need the URL. That's why I said no, we don't need any data. In order to complete the registration, we need test data, so I said yes. To be able to find a flight, we need to enter some data. So then yes, we need data for that. Select a flight, yes, we need data. Book a flight, we need to enter some personal information, that's why we need data as well. So let us navigate the application. Same order of these user actions. So open application, so let's just open the application. So this is the URL, and this is the URL that we will be using as a demo application for our tutorial. And so I got my application up. Open the application, I did. What is the next? Complete the registration. So to complete, I'm going to click register link, and then I can enter contact information, mailing information. I'm going to skip that for now. Just enter username, record information, and password, confirm password. And then click submit. Once I did that, I get this thank you message telling me that registration is completed. So now next, let me go back to my document here. They have another user action, find a flight, right? Next user action. So to do that, let me click on flights on the left side, and I get a flight finder page. On this page, let me change something here, say London and arriving in New York. So London to New York, and then economy class, that's fine, and click continue. Okay, let me go back here, select a flight. Is data needed for this user action, so that's select a flight page. And then I can accept the default option, or I can change it. Let me change it to the second option here, and this one third option, and click continue. Once I click continue, next user action is book a flight. Yes, we need data. So we can enter some dummy data here. Let's enter first name, John, last name, Doe, and credit card number, that's whatever, some dummy number, and then click secure purchase. So what happens next? It gives me a message saying that it has been booked. What's next? We have done this, exit the application. So what I do, click sign off link here, close the browser, Done. So what I did, I just show you end-to-end flow of book a flight process for a new user. So I have some understanding of this process. So at least I know how the application works. So let us do the second part, designing the data-driven testing framework. So it's important to understand the components of data-driven testing framework. Let me tell you again, this tutorial is designed for beginners. So I have very simple, the design is very simple. So I don't have a lot of components. So one component I have here, config.xlx file. Config.xlx file is the file that where we will list all the scripts directories. Plus we can do other configuration, but we will not. In this tutorial, I am just going to list only the scripts directories. We will not do any other configuration at this moment, not for this tutorial. Driver.bbs, this is a custom BB script file. And in this file job would be, we'll prepare this file ourselves. And this file job is to execute the scripts for us. So driver will go to config.xlx file and find the path of the script which are set to Y, and then open and execute those scripts. Function libraries. I highlighted because we will not implement function libraries in this framework. So if you like to do this yourself, please go ahead. Object repositories, yes, we will record script. We'll create script by recording. As we create script by recording, UFT will add objects to the object repository, which are the local object repository. And we will use local object repositories. I highlighted shared object repositories because we will not use any shared object repositories. UFT data table. There are many data sources we can use. This tutorial is again for beginners. I thought UFT data table would be a good place to start. So we will use UFT data table as the data source to make things easy. Test scripts, automation test scripts that we will prepare. Application under test is just the application that we will be testing. Logs, I'm not sure. I will implement this. I have it here just in case. Just in case if you like to implement, but if I don't do that, you can implement that yourself. Error handler, there is not much to do. Simply configure UFT in a way that UFT handles expected or unexpected errors that occur during runtime. Test reports are the reports that UFT will generate. These are not custom reports. The built-in reports that UFT generates, and UFT will automatically export the results to specified test directory. So I have some understanding of the components. Let me show you the design that I have. This is the design. Let me actually open up my Paint where I can show it. I can draw something. So in this is a framework design that I have. If you can do something better, please go for it. I know it's not as good as should be, but this is what I have for now. So the plan, you might say, how are we going to implement this? So let me draw something here. Very first, we will create a container. This is a UFT container or solution. In this solution, we will add our automation test scripts. So I create this solution. After that, I'm going to create a script by recording with hard-coded data. So this will be implemented. Create a script with hard-coded data. And then we will enhance the script for data-driven testing. That means we will remove the hard-coded data and then point the script to this data source. Same thing here. Point the script to this data source, and then point the script to this data source, and this script will be point to this data source. So that's the implementation plan, and we'll run the script by clicking the run button. After that, we can list all the scripts that we created in this file, and then we'll prepare our driver script, which job would be to go to the config file and open the script that are set to Y and execute the scripts for us. And during runtime, UFT will generate the results in the test results directory. Also, during runtime, if UFT experiences any expected or unexpected errors, error handler feature will take care of the errors. And as you can see, UFT directly will communicate with the application under test. What about the logs? As I mentioned, I have it here. I don't know if I will implement. If I don't implement, you can do it yourself. It's just a custom logs that can help us to do the debugging. So if you want to implement yourself, that's fine. If not, we can use just a built-in log that generates by UFT. We will also not going to implement libraries. I have it here only if you like to implement yourself. So we will not implement any sort of libraries, custom libraries. So that would be the implementation plan of this framework. Let me go back to my document. Okay, so it says now design time flow. That means that, let's say framework is implemented. Now, what are the tasks and what order should I be doing the task so that I can run my scripts during regression? Create the test script. I already actually explained already. Create the test scripts by recording. So let me go fast and undo everything. It says create the test scripts by recording. So what I mean by that is design time. This is the one I'm talking about. Create the scripts by recording. This one is script by recording, another script by recording. As we record, UFT will add object to the object repositories. Next, prepare the test data in UFT data table. So these are the test data we are talking about, UFT data table. Enhance the test scripts by replacing the hard-coded data by pointing to the data source. All is talking about update these scripts and remove the hard-coded data by pointing to this data source. Same thing, this one. List the scripts in the config file. Once the script's done and running just fine, wherever I save that script, copy that directory and store into this file. Same thing for this one. Store into this file, just the directory. So that's the design time flow, pretty much the definition of done. So once design time is done, so that means we are ready to run the script, runtime flow. What do we do for running the script? In order to run, we just need to double-click this file. We are talking about running a test suite, not running. You can run this script individually by opening this script. Let me highlight. You can run just this script by opening it up and click the run button. I'm talking about running as a test suite, then we need this driver, this man right here. That's why there's an arrow showing going to the UFT. So this person's job is to execute all the scripts for us. So we're talking about how we can run regression suite. So when we double click driver will go to the config file, retrieve the path of the first automation test script in the queue. So let's say we listed the scripts here. Driver will go to this config file and read the directory where the script was saved. If it was set to Y, then driver will open and execute the script. Driver will open the script, open UFT, driver will open the script, UFT will execute the script. That means driver will instruct UFT to execute the script. And then it just simply shows, I will not read line by line. All it shows during runtime, UFT will retrieve the test data and then enter into the application. As you can see, I have application that UFT directly communicates. So UFT will read the test data, enter data into application, verify the results, and it will continue doing that until all the rows are done. So that's in a high level, the design time and runtime flow. I hope you have some understanding of it. You might be a little confused, that's okay, because this is too early to have a clear understanding of it. And once we really build all the scripts and execute them, then you will have a clear idea. So thank you so much for watching this. In the next lesson, let me see what should be the next. This is designing the framework. In the next lesson, most likely we will build the file structure for our framework, for our data-driven testing. Thank you again for watching this. I hope to see you in the next lesson. Take care.